Greetings and welcome to Mallmark. We're here in our ringing room at our factory here in Plumsteadville, Pennsylvania, and I'm Kathy Ebling Shaw. I'll be joined later by Hyosung Park, and we're just going to take a few minutes today to share a little bit about our instrument called Cymbells and give a little demonstration of how they are used. The cymbals are actually mounted handbell castings made of bronze. We offer 3 octaves of cymbals. We have our lower octave from C5 to C6, our middle range C6 to C7, and then C7 to C8. So each set is a complete chromatic set of castings mounted on a rack on a stand. They are accompanied by mallets as well as are fit neatly in a wonderful folding case. They are a wonderful instrument to be used by individuals, by community groups, churches, schools, and for many other uses. The cymbals are most commonly used for liturgical purposes and to embellish worship, pardon the pun there. And their primary use in the church is to add just some brilliance to congregational singing. There's a number of ways that we can use them. We're unable to give you a full demonstration during these COVID times. However, we'll demonstrate just a few of the patterns that can be used during the congregational singing, during hymn singing. And so the most common use of handbells during hymn singing would be random ringing. And in that, you choose a particular pattern of pitches and just ring them randomly during 1 or 2 stanzas of the hymn. If you are using plain chant, I would suggest keeping it very open in fifths and just have the bells strike whenever they want to in patterns. You can even do a little roll, but just keep it very open when you have a very stepwise melody. If you have a European hymn tune from the 19th century, you can just choose whatever key that hymn tune is in and random ring in that way. For instance, if we were in the key of F major, so you can just strike whenever you want to. Just to give a little bit of a glisten. You'll notice that as I'm using the bells and as I finish, oftentimes during hymn singing we don't want to worry too much about damping, but if you do have to damp the bells, it's important to wear gloved hands and one just touches the castings. And because there are 2 tones coming from the handbell casting, it's important to touch the entire wall of the casting. With my mallets, I am striking near the lip of the bell. That is probably the thickest part of the casting. And the reason why I'm striking near the lip is twofold. For instance, number 1, that's where the fundamental pitch is coming from. The secondary pitch, or the 12th in the overtone series, comes from the higher waist area of the casting, and the fundamental comes from the lip. So it's important to strike at the lip so that we get the fundamental pitch sounding. The second reason for that is that so that we hear the strong fundamental and the strong 12th in the overtone series, the center of the casting is very thin. So you don't want to strike the center of the casting with a mallet so that we don't want you to crack it. So keep the mallets very close to the lip of the casting. Another thing that we can do to add to hymn singing would be just a little ostinato pattern, and it could be something as simple as this. I would love to use that on Natalie Sleeth's Go Now in Peace. Another great idea would be appeal. So here we go. This would be something that would work very nicely on Joy to the World. My favorite is using these bells with chant and just using the simple open fifth and have a beautiful chant line go along with it. Or another great use for open fifths would be hymn tunes from Southern Harmony. So either one of those is beautiful. If we used Of the Father's Love Begotten, just an open E flat and B flat. Or if you were singing What Wondrous Love Is This in D minor, just the D and A. Or how about O Come Emmanuel? And just play the fifths over and over again at the end of a phrase, and it just creates just a stunning moment for the use of those fifths. Another idea would be to open those fifths up a little bit, and so I'm going to perhaps do this. And I could create the Cymbells effect on the final stanza of your favorite hymn. You may want to add some drama or excitement by using chord clusters with the cymbals as well. And we can use 2 mallets in each hand and just create an open effect. And they would be great during a dramatic reading. And finally, one of the most glorious ways to use this instrument would be to ring a descant on it during a hymn tune as well. Just any descant that you may have in a book of descants and add it to the hymn would be a wonderful use of these instruments. Another way that these instruments are used is through the use of a solo instrument. But before we switch to that, I would just like to recommend a resource that we have here at Malmark. It's a book written by Hal Hobson called Handbells in Worship. And in this book, he uses wonderful examples of adding bells to hymn tunes, and the cymbals work very nicely. Some of the examples that I gave you earlier in the session today are in this book, as well as some others, and the beautiful thing about it is he arranged them by tune names, so it's very easy to find references and examples to be used, as well as he teaches you how to create your own resources. So this is a wonderful book available here at Malmark, Handbells in Worship by Hal Hobson. Before we continue, I would like to introduce Hyosung Park, who is a wonderful solo ringer on handbells and chimes, as well as cymbals, and she'll explain a little bit more about her art.
Hello everybody, so I'll be showing you what you can do with the cymbals as a solo instrument. So if you have a piano accompaniment at a church or a school, you can simply play a tune with the piano accompaniment and the melody done on the cymbal. So I'll be playing Schubert Ave Maria. So if you do not have a piano accompaniment, fear not, there's another way to do it. So since there is no introduction done on the piano, as Kathy mentioned, you can start any melody with the ostinato pattern. way to show the beauty of a melody, and the handbell, the cymbals, is using an open fifth. So I'll show you what you can do. As Kathy mentioned, the Southern melody and also Irish melody is perfect because it sits really well with open fifth. I really do hope that you'll find a way to use the cymbals in your services and where you work with children and others. Thank you.
We're very proud of our quality instruments and craftsmanship here at Malmark. If you should have any questions about the Cymbells or about Malmark handbells or choir chimes, please feel free to reach out to us. Our toll-free number is 1-800-HANDBELL, HANDBEL, and we can be found on the web at www.malmark.com. Thanks so much for joining us today.